So the way the conversation will be when we converge in May, we have thought leaders in this room who shall help us, give top-level conversations or keynotes around key aspects, first, to set the scene. And these ones will involve, number one, the role of the state in the development of an agriculture finance system. The state, colleagues, the state is the bedrock of this conversation. It has such an important role to play that there is no two ways about it. It has to be part and parcel, not part and parcel, but core to this conversation. And we shall hear a little bit more about how the state positions itself to be able to support the member states across Africa in financing agri-food systems. The second is the Kampala Declaration. Exit Maputo, exit Malaba, enter Kampala Declaration. We made very ambitious commitments this year in Uganda. How do we plan to support those investments? We don't want beautiful, nice policy documents that we shall be talking about 10 years down the line, but we really have to think seriously about how that is going to be supported. The third is global best practice in ag financing, subsidies, and taxation. There are lessons we can learn from across the world about how to model our frameworks, our policies in this part of the world. And then evidence on tracking financing flows for food systems in Africa. You always hear arguments about how much is going to the sector. There are numbers, but really how much is going to this. And I think special thanks to IFAD for supporting this study, and we shall be having some progress. I think Kenya and Niger and probably Rwanda as countries that have started work on providing proper data on evidence tracking. Within the main summit, of course, we have the keynotes, we have breakouts, we have the hackathon, and like I mentioned, we have ideas amongst us, and we have DFIs within the summit, and it would be good for them to have a first-hand conversation with some of the solutions that are bankable, and whether they want to take on that conversation later, well and good. But just to appreciate the enormous amount of resource that is there within the food systems and the solutions and the proposals that exist. And of course, solutions. We have the banking sector, we have digital technology solutions, and that's why we give room for exhibitions. People want to interact more with these solutions.
In Africa alone, it's estimated that we need between 13 billion to 78 billion to finance food systems sustainably. On the other side, we need to curb the 12 trillion that we lose every year due to environmental, social, economic costs because of the way we produce food, which means that we'll have to also optimize the way we allocate resources. Bringing this home, it is estimated that we also have to rethink about how Kenya also control its food loss and waste. So looking ahead, we must embrace innovation and define new norms to support the food system growth. Traditional funding, as I mentioned, are no longer sufficient, and we have to look at a wider avenue to mobilize resources. We need to explore creative and innovative solutions by leveraging technology, fostering public-private partnership, and adopting sustainable practices to maximize the impact of every dollar invested. This will be achieved if we have the right mix of policy, support, investment climate, and collaborative partnership. Collaborative partnership among government, both national and county, is needed. Private sector, civil society, and international organization is now even more critical than ever before. Together, we can pool resources, strengthen our financial resilience, share knowledge, expertise, and more importantly, to scale up proven and successfully tested models in input financing, value chain financing, carbon financing, climate or green transition financing, biocircularity or regenerative financing. And an area we also need to explore is digital financing. because it's something that we look at that we have not explored widely. Somebody talk about blockchain, but there's a lot more than just blockchain that we can look into.
From where we sit, and from what I see, we need to bring all the stakeholders under one roof, because we know that there are many players who are engaged in financing the agri-food system. We have the public sector itself, we have the private sector, we have the development partners, we have the informal financial entities, but we need to bring all of us in this table.
So, have you asked yourself, why do we have a challenge until we are unable to finance? I guess one of the reasons could be, is agriculture attractive? Because as financiers, as silent as you are, before you finance a product, you really go through a lot of thinking, you do a lot of economics, it must be profitable, it must make a business sense. So is agriculture making a business sense for the private sector, for the financiers to finance agriculture? That should be the question. And you ask yourself, so how can we make agriculture attractive? So the way we take care of our animals, we don't provide proper animal husbandry or even crop husbandry. It is just by the way. So it is high time we give attention to either animals, livestock, or crops in a way that we believe that they are of value and they need attention every day. That should happen. Otherwise, we can talk, we can discuss, and the financiers are continuously running away. But ask yourself, why is agriculture not attractive? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to let you know, note that the sustainable financing and funding of agriculture stem from the FINAS 2024 dialogue. There was a big dialogue, you remember, and the framework aims to optimize on the consolidation and the use of public finance to support food system development in Kenya. It is expected to provide a framework against which financial resources for initiatives that enhance agricultural productivity, improve food security, and promote sustainable practices is embedded. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware, the global funding landscape is shifting with significant reduction in support for critical sectors. The agricultural sector is one of those that have been significantly affected by the policy shift from our development partners. This reality compels us to rethink our existing financing and investment models. The government is exploring innovative solutions such as blended financing, green bonds, diaspora remittance, leveraging domestic resources, and increased private sector participation to bridge these gaps.